Computer. Okay, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. Let me start again. God damn it, I hate those intros. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hey, folks, my special guest today is Randy Resnick. This man wears many hats in our upstate New York community of Sullivan County. Born and raised in the foothills of the Catskills, he's a trained chef from the nation's top culinary school and an astute businessman with a heart for improving the community. He is one of the most hardworking men I have ever seen, simultaneously operating 2 restaurants, a grocery store, a hotel and banquet hall, 2 oil companies, a propane company, and now making masks. Randy always places the community's best interests as a priority, employing locals in all of his businesses. He was extremely active in getting gambling approved in an effort to help the economy of Sullivan County as well. Thank you for joining me, Randy. I know you have only a short window of time, so we'll try and keep it short, but I wanted to bring you on because you are just one of the most inspiring, busy men I have ever seen.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
So I assume that this whole pandemic has hurt some of your businesses and helped some of your businesses. And you just keep plugging away at every single one of them, but you are responsible for a lot of bodies because you employ so many people up there. How's that going? What do you think?
It's been really challenging. It's as you said, good in some and not so good in others. You know, the restaurants being strictly takeout has brought its own challenges trying to staff. You know, there's been some good things and bad things with the PPP plan.
Yeah, the financial, did you find that process challenging? Because of your so many businesses, each of their businesses have different needs for payroll. Or
yeah, I mean, the payroll plan was working really well for certain businesses, not working for others. The restaurants only having 60 days from receiving the money has been difficult because, you know, we did bring some extra staff on, except that to do what? I mean, there's no business allowed. So, you know, your business shrank to a to-go level only. And then from there, there's really no place to go. There's no, you know, there's no sit-down dining. You know, we're doing all the, you know, marketing that we can locally, Facebook marketing, you know, doing family meals, trying to, you know, think creative and out of the box. But I mean, the truth is that there's just no business without sit-down dining, and more than that, the catering. I mean, the catering, we've taken an enormous hit on catering. Our catering, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of cancellations already. Right now, we're, you know, talking about September and October being, you know, in question at this point. If you don't get September and October, which is the primary wedding season up here, it's devastating to the financial aspect of the business.
Right. Are you finding that some of your, the restaurant business and the catering business going down, or other businesses thriving at this time? I know you're sort of hedging when you have a supermarket as well.
The supermarket's actually doing pretty well. We had a nice bump from when the pandemic first started. It was, you know, good, also challenging. You know, you have a certain amount of help, and then, you know, you increase your business by double. And, you know, then the supply issues started to kick in, you know, products disappearing, you know, toilet paper, paper towels are still really hard to get.
Yeah, explain that a little bit for those that are just wondering why our shelves are so bare. I know that we talk about supply chain all the time, but explain what that means.
So there's a few issues at play here. One is that, you know, if you're in business and you have a regular business, you manufacture a widget, and you know that at Christmas time, you're going to be, you know, your widget's going to sell the most, and that's your season for selling widgets. You plan, you know, just like you plan with your products that you manufacture, you plan that 6, 8 months, 10 months in advance. Actually, right after Christmas this year, you start planning, you know, next year's Christmas.
That's right.
This all of a sudden becomes Christmas when you wake up in the morning. And, you know, you can catch up a little bit, you know, utilize your inventory that you have backed up to, try to get over the hump, but the hump never goes away. So basically you wake up every day and it's Christmas. And, after some time, the manufacturing facilities, they just can't produce it. Their product that they need, for example, bottles to put sanitizer in become impossible to get. Packaging becomes impossible to get. And everybody's in the same boat. It's not like, your one industry takes a pop and someone else's industry doesn't. This is all of a sudden all industries across the board are getting, waking up and it's Christmas, and it's Christmas for weeks on end, and it becomes impossible to fill the shelves. And then of course people are hoarding, which is a big part of it. And we're still having issues getting, water, toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies. We haven't seen a wipe or a can of Lysol in months in the supermarket that we have.
Wow.
We're having, our suppliers are shrinking us down from 3 days a week to 2 days a week worth of deliveries. You're ordering 10 pallets, you're getting 5 pallets. So there's a lot of challenges here. Right now, there's like a meat problem. The prices of meat are through the roof. They're, in a lot of cases, double what they were just, 3 weeks ago. Starting to come off a hair right now, but they're not. Ground beef that you used to, buy meat and you would cut it up and grind it, that cost you $2.79 a pound, now costs $6.79 a pound.
And it's sad because it's the economy hasn't been great there for a long time, probably, I don't know, 30 years.
Forever. No, forever. I mean, when there was the recession going on in the 2000s, people used to say, how's it going up there? I'm like, we've been in a recession up here since 1960. So, it's not, we're not changing. We're still in the same boat. We've learned how to make money here on seasonal businesses. We've learned how to survive here on 4 months a year. It's always been our routine. Things are getting better. The Catskills are coming back. A lot of second homeowners. This is going to be a big boost for us, in the future. There's a lot of people going to come out of the city.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. For people that don't know, upstate New York in the foothills of the Catskills used to be the old Borscht Belt, where all the hotels and the populations from Long Island, New York would come to vacation all summer long. We had people staying there. Randy and I are from the same town. We had people staying there all summer, and it was booming. But just like Randy said, it took a turn in the 70s, 80s, and then just continued to decline.
Yeah, when the hotels started to disappear, so did everything here. I mean, the summer seasons became very small. There's still a lot of survival people here. Our population growth hasn't been tremendous. We have a big summertime pop, of course. We have all the summer visitors that come up here. But right now we have
Bethel Woods. Bethel Woods has been a draw for many musicians and concerts, and definitely revitalized certain parts of the area. And I know that you work hard all the time to bring additional revenues into the county and opportunities into the county, for the people and for businesses.
Yeah, so sort of a serial entrepreneur. I constantly am starting new businesses and trying new things. And I think really the biggest challenge that we're dealing with today, that I'm personally dealing with today, is how to rethink all of my businesses at the same time. Like I buy a business, or I start a business, and then I build that business, and I train people to be in that business. And I guess I sort of get bored. I was having a conversation with my uncle yesterday, and he was saying, your problem is you get bored. Once you hit the level that you want to, be at, and, you want to go do something else that re-challenges you. So, and that's kind of where I am. I get into that position.
And the good thing is that you never leave your employees hanging. You get bored to establish it as a self-running mechanism, putting the right people in the right place. And then it's not like,
I still somehow manage to micromanage all my businesses, and drives my people crazy, but they get over it. But but right now I'm I have to rethink how I do every business, and that's really the challenge. So while I'm actually sitting here, in this pandemic with this new mask business that is insane, taking up all of my time. I mean, we're packaging, we're shipping, we're ordering, we're selling. I mean, it's really what's taking up all of my time right now. In the meantime, I need to rethink about, how we're going to position ourselves in the area with our supermarket. What are we going to concentrate on? What are we going to do with the restaurants? We have to start thinking about reopening, social distancing. I was reading, what some of the other states are doing, and then, of course, how do we survive doing, 50% of our business? Because what's going to happen when they let us reopen is we're going to have to come back with, 100% of our overhead with 50% of our business. And the restaurant business, if you lose 20% of your sales, you're out of business. I'm fortunate enough to be able to have other businesses that can help me support that. But I don't see if someone else doesn't have the same opportunity that I have, someone else doesn't have 7 other businesses to help them, with 1 or 2 of their businesses that aren't doing well. I mean, how do they get over it? How do they feed their family? How do they pay their
How
taxes?
do they get over it? Like what ideas are in play in the restaurant industry besides for the, social distancing and only having a certain capacity? Are your waiters and waitresses going to wear masks?
Yeah, possibly masks and face shields, and gloves are this. You have to change gloves. They're talking about wiping down the POS systems in between each transaction. Your guys on the line are going to have to wear masks, and behind the broiler station, it's 220 degrees. You can't drink enough water when you're working the broiler on a busy night.
Right.
What are you doing about dishware and glassware? Are you using disposable? Are you sanitizing properly? Are you, how you're cleaning your tables in between. And I think when it first opens up, it's going to be strictly outside. So then you have to set up outside. You're going to have people, you have this to-go business inside. You have this other business, the sit-down business that'll be outside.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to cross your staffs. The biggest challenge is going to be keeping your staff safe. I mean, there's going to be rules. You might have to take people's temperature when they walk in the door. And I'm not just talking about my staff. I'm talking about customers. You want to make sure that a customer's not sick coming into your restaurant. So are we going to take their temperature? Are we going to sit them down at a table? If they have to go to the bathroom, they're going to have to raise their hand, have to put a mask on, be escorted. So everybody stays 6 feet apart. I mean, I don't really get it. I don't know how anybody's going to survive it.
And you know what? On paper, it sounds so normal. It sounds like, well, we're going to reopen and the restaurants are going to social distance. But you're talking about real life scenarios that become extremely complex and extremely hard for a restaurant owner to manage. And then if you don't allow a customer in because he or she has a little bit of a raised temperature, they might be there with a party of 4. So does everyone go home? Do they sue the restaurant for you not letting them in? I mean, I don't know how it's really going to work, to be honest.
I don't either. It's I'm a little anxious to find out. I don't know how we're going to survive. We've been surviving in the restaurants because the restaurant's always been a springboard for the catering. I own a restaurant that's been there for 50 plus years, so it has a following. It has a, it's been around for a very long time, and we've continued that tradition from Bernie into BHR, transitioned to the BHR. We're going into our 8th or 9th year right now, and we're scared. We're really scared. I mean, I don't know how you get over it. I mean, it could be, without the catering, it's going to be really challenging. It's going to be really.
Is there maybe outside events? Are they going to allow catering under large tents? It seems that fresh air is good. So are you going to be able to?
I don't know if they're going to allow dance floors, when they're going to allow dance floors. I mean, you're not dancing with a mask on, let's face it, So, everybody, you need like an oxygen supply for people when it's done. I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm having real issues with trying to get my head around it.
Now, are you guys allowed to start reopening? I know downstate New York in the city, they're not at this time.
No, we are not. We're in the same zone as they are, so we are not allowed. We are still in, we just opened phase 1 yesterday, and phase 1 is, outside construction can start over, can start up again. Retail with curbside only. So we're actually phase 3 is dining in restaurants. So we're still, probably middle of July. Of course, that's halfway through our season here. And that's going to be devastating too. How do you always know that January, February, you have to plan, getting through the winters in the season. And if you don't have a season, how do you get through the winters? I mean, this is a troublesome situation.
Yeah. How are you comforting your employees? Because I know that there's certain trepidation, certainly in your voice and in the plans ahead. But if anyone's going to figure it out, I know it's going to be you. You're always the phoenix that rises out of the ashes.
We've been
How are you
repurposing our employees to different businesses. We wanted to make sure that we protected the people that work for us. There are people that went on unemployment, and that's another challenge because unemployment pays more than I do. So between unemployment and that $600 stipend that everybody's getting in New York State, they're making, much more money than I would pay them to do their job.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were making $15 an hour, $600 a week, taking home $500 a week, you are now making $425 a week on your paycheck plus $600 a week from the state is $1,025. Why would you come back to work?
Right. I know we have a lot of that going on here. Even with my son's friend also made a decision to not work. And, in a time where everyone wants to work and there's such high unemployment, it is a challenge to get people, up and out when the government will pay them.
So I can't. So some of the people that I kept on as long as I could with and I took a couple of my chefs from my restaurants and I put them into the deli departments at the supermarkets, doing prepared foods. I tried to raise the level of prepared foods in both of my supermarkets so that we have like restaurant quality food, not just the same crap that's,
right. Fancy restaurant quality. They don't even know what they're getting over there. These are like highly trained chefs putting together.
That's correct.
Food for
that's correct. So that's one of the things that we've been doing. And then if, I have some people doing masks and we're packaging our own stuff. So I have some people doing that as well. But overall, I really don't think I lost that many staff. I mean, maybe 5 of my part-time servers have collected unemployment. That's about it.
So once again, you have this safety net around your employees and your businesses, and you just maintain it and fix it wherever it needs to be fixed. And I always applaud that, in you. And I hope that the restaurant business opens up in whatever way. I know you had a food truck at one point. Do you still have a food truck?
No, food trucks like owning a boat. There's 2 good days: the day you buy it and the day you sell it. So no more food trucks.
No more food trucks.
As a matter of fact, I have a wood burning pizza oven, a tow behind, like a whole setup. And someone says, you should go out to White Lake because I have a restaurant, a couple restaurants in White Lake that I own. One I rent, one I'm trying to sell. It's on the lake. It's a beautiful spot. People keep saying you should put your pizza oven out there and open up, and sell pizza on the side of the road because there's no food out there. And I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not doing that.
What opportunities are good opportunities. Now,
it would be a good opportunity if I was there making pizza, but to not be there, to have people there, just to have something else to worry about. I think there's enough to worry about on the planet right now. I don't need to worry about that.
Did you do anything with the schools and their lunch programs? Or any food donations to, any of the food banks?
No, I mean, I donate a lot of food to the food banks and to a veterans association. And there's a couple other organizations in town that I donate, like as stuff comes out of date at the supermarket. There's this thing called reclamation where you fill out paperwork and you give it back to them. And then they give you maybe 20% or 10% of what you paid for it. But I find that, as it comes up to date, I'd just rather donate it. So we donate quite a bit of food outside, but I didn't get involved in any school. There's another guy in town who's doing the stuff with the schools, and I'm not involved in that.
Well, that's good. I know that when everything started happening and there were people that weren't able to get to supermarkets, you put a note out there, a video on Facebook, that if anyone needs anything, please let me know. We will make sure that you get delivery. It was related to the supermarket. So
yeah, we still do that too. I mean, I delivered somebody last night. We have a ride home program. If you come and you spend $75 and you're within the village, we'll pay for your taxi ride home. We get 5% off to veterans and seniors every single day. We have, we're actually thinking about doing an essential worker food discount and going down because we have some large food manufacturers in the area that have primarily a Spanish employee base that are working every day through this pandemic, and I feel like we're talking about rewarding them with giving them the discount cards, 5% off as well, to try to of course draw business, but also to reward people for putting their effort in during the pandemic. I mean, it's so we're trying, but it's
yes,
again,
and you know what's
challenging.
crazy is that you would think that this is like an established area with established Ubers and Instacart and all that stuff. But you and I know, being from the area, we don't have any of this. You would have to drive 20 minutes.
Uber? What's Uber? I mean, right, yeah. We don't have Uber.
There's no Uber. There's no, there was, I forgot when 911 actually came into play. You'd have to dial your police station if there was like with the real phone number.
Oh yeah, and then after 911 came in, they changed, they didn't get the numbers right. So they came around, they renumbered all your houses. So you put that sign up at your house that said, this is the number of my house. And then 6 months later, they change it. And then 6 months later, they change it again.
So we definitely are from a small town, and
yes.
you're always putting in like new infrastructure, new ways of doing things in order to, to help make it more like a legit place, which you have.
Right.
What, tell me the name of the supermarket in Liberty and the name of the
Liberty
restaurant.
Market. It's the old Great American. It's actually a store that's been here for 45 years. It was a Spanish supermarket before we took it over called Ideal Food Basket. Now it's Liberty Market. We try to keep it local. We have a lot of local stuff in it. Try to make, keep it fresh. Real deli, real, good meat department, fresh produce department. We're selling flowers and tomato plants now, and we're trying to figure it out. We've only been here 4 months, so we're still new.
And it's beautiful. I've seen pictures of it, and it's fresh.
Yeah, it's a nice market. Yeah.
And the restaurant, Bernie's Holiday Restaurant, or BH
Bernie's Holiday Restaurant, Crust. Resnick Energy is my main oil company. On Penguin Energy, Resbear Propane, the Sullivan Event Center, which has a Ramada inside of it, and Reswear Masks, which is where the madness is right now. So
these are the masks that are going to protect us all. There you go, saving the world again.
Somewhat protected me. That's all that matters, so
there you go. Well, thank you for hopping on. I appreciate you spending a little bit of time, and thank you for keeping everyone employed and everyone's interests at top priority. And I certainly hope that when you figure it out, when you figure out what you're going to do with the restaurants and the social distancing and all of that fun stuff, you'll hop back on and we could see it in action.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, Rand. Have a great day.
Take care. All right, bye.